What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy, Marlon. We're back at it again here with a new format of the show. Today, we have a main topic talking about God of War Ragnarok, and this is my hot take on it. Obviously, we have Tim Gettys from Kind of Funny. He's actually the co-founder of Kind of Funny. And basically, next to my man, Greg Miller, and he had some business calls. And man, this is very, very interesting. I said, you know what? I'm going to be talking about this. Also wanted to highlight a couple things about the stream from yesterday. I had to take it down because I had some audio issues. I guess whenever I was doing some transitions and stuff like that, it was messing up when I had the timestamp. So I had to literally take it down. Want to give you guys the best quality possible on the channel. So the whole situation with Sony paying block fees and stuff like that, I will be talking about that on Sunday, one-on-one with you guys, okay? So hopefully you guys like the new format of the show. I've been doing this for years, but I say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and switch things up a bit here, bring back the green screen like I promised. I like to give you guys the best that I can when it comes to the content. So I'm going to go ahead and give people time to get into the stream. And let me go ahead and tag this. I think we have the THQ Nordic showcase today. And so a lot of you guys wanted me to stream that. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that for you guys as well. So I know it is roughly around almost, 11 o'clock on the dot. So I want to be able to wrap up this hot take, this discussion with you guys about God of War and Sony's big plans, and also get some feedback on what you guys think, and then get ready for the next stream and such. So appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for coming in and everything. And let me go ahead and put this on here. All right, give you guys some time to get in the stream before we start knocking out this topic here. So how are you guys doing, man? Thank y'all for the support, man. Yes, we are going back to the way how we used to do things on the channel. I appreciate you guys. Different format, different style of how I'm doing my thing. I like to try to change up things. You know, I don't like things to be the same over and over again. Just give you guys the best content that I possibly can, and just be more precise with everything that I do here, because ultimately I think a lot of you guys really appreciate the format of the show, and the format of the show is still going to be the same, but I really want to just add a little bit much more flavor for you guys. And so let's go ahead. Do me a favor, guys, hit the like button, hit the share button. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start getting into the actual discussion here. And I had to literally update my drivers because at one point, I think the game actually, not the game, but the screen actually froze. And I was like, man, I had to update my graphics card and everything. And I saw Spider-Man all over. And I was like, holy freaking cow, Spider-Man is out today. So I know a lot of you guys are going to be picking that up for your Steam Deck or just for your PC. Some of you guys have very powerful PCs that can handle Spider-Man and everything. I know a lot of people have been playing it and talking about it and stuff like that. So let me know your thoughts on that one. All right, let's talk about God of War Ragnarok. Okay, now obviously we know God of War Ragnarok is coming out in November 9th, right? And so I know a lot of you guys are pretty much excited for God of War, and I really want to talk about this because the strength of Sony IPs. And it's crazy because we've been hearing so much. Allegedly, Sony is paying block fees, blah, 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 to stop games from going to Game Pass. Sony is saying that, oh, they can't rival Call of Duty. None of their studios can rival Call of Duty and Game Pass. It's going to take, you know, other competitors years to come up with that particular formula, right? So that's all very interesting and all. But the highlight reel here is that I think a lot of people forget the strength of Sony IPs. And this is marvelous because not a lot of games have this type of splash or impact, right? To where you got to move out the way. Call of Duty, main example, Call of Duty have that type of splash to where you got to move out the way because otherwise you're going to get eclipsed by the juggernaut of a title that it is. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jamal, thank you so much, man, for the $5. Says your passion for gaming is admirable. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. I try to do the best that I can for you guys. Appreciate the $5 first donation of the show today. Jamal, I appreciate you. God bless. God bless. God bless. My job is to give you guys the best content and be straightforward with my opinion and thoughts. My opinions is not you guys' opinions. My take is not y'all take. So I respect you guys' take and I respect my opinion on things. And like I said, my opinion could be wrong and that's okay. And it is what it is. So I appreciate you guys watching and listening to me, man. It's what I strive for here. And I want to put the right information out there and try to do better and try to be a better person each and every day. So thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate it. And so this is very, very special because like I said, it shows you the strength of Sony IPs. And so when you hear all these reports that are coming out about Sony is scared or they're shook, man, I don't really know. Because if you look at a game like God of War Ragnarok, man, that game is going to be huge this holiday season, right? And we're going to get off into Sony's big plans, right, that they have in motion and what they're planning for this holiday season. But Tim Geddes of Kind of Funny, okay, he's co-founder of Kind of Funny Games, right, next to Greg Miller. He said that he had business calls where he was talking to some people, right? And basically they have admitted that they're going to back off and give God of War Ragnarok its space. I'm not surprised. He said that he was shocked. I'm not surprised because God of War Ragnarok, God of War in general is a juggernaut title, okay? And that is really amazing for it to be a first party title from PlayStation. This is the reason why I tell people, like, I put out a tweet yesterday and the tweet is getting some traction. I said, this is the reason why I've said in the past that Sony's IPs are literally the best, right? Microsoft is trying to get to that Sony, flavor when it comes to their games and everything. Sony is at the top when it comes to their IPs, when it comes to their games and such. And to really kind of hear that devs are really scared, they're literally scared because they're like, man, we're not gonna chance putting out our games next to God of War Ragnarok because all the attention is going to be on God of War Ragnarok versus our games. And I think that's smart. Forspoken, for instance, got delayed, right? Obviously, the latest trailer is a meme now, and a lot of people said it was corny. I kind of watched it, and it was kind of cheesy and everything like that. It's crazy. But Forspoken got delayed. A bunch of other stuff got delayed. Maybe not because of God of War Ragnarok, but to really hear that he had some business calls on the back end saying that we don't want a piece of God of War Ragnarok. So we're backing off and we're giving God of War Ragnarok its space. And that is powerful to me that a lot of developers in the industry are backing off because they know that God of War Ragnarok is going to move consoles. God of War Ragnarok is going to triumph when it comes to sales. And whatever release date or situation that it's gotten, it's just going to be extremely well. And so it's very, very interesting, guys. Now we're getting a report saying that Hogwarts Legacy is not coming out till next year. Oh, man. Oh, man. Wow. This is crazy. So I was literally hoping that We was going to get Hogwarts Legacy. I might as well throw that up there too. Hogwarts Legacy is 2023, guys. Man, everything is 2023, 2023, 2023. This is crazy. I was hoping to play Hogwarts Legacy this year. Not happening. So it just goes to show you, man, that God of War Ragnarok is a big deal. It really is a big deal. And so I really want to talk about Sony's plans, right? Their big plans, because their big plans is to get more PS5s out there, right? For this holiday season. They already said that they're going to be improving the stock of PS5s this year. Also, they're going to come out here and promote PlayStation Plus and also these new major titles that are going to be dropping this year, including God of War Ragnarok. So that's their big plans, right? For this particular year, for the holiday season. And I really want to talk about this because, guys, Sony is going to be fine as far as when it comes to their games, right? Their single player games, they're not shying away from that. But let's understand that when it comes to, right? When it comes to multiplayer, that's where they're weak right now. And obviously, that's why they got the Bungie deal going, right? Because they're going to have a lot of live service stuff by now until 2026, right? And so that's going to be a major push for Sony, right? By now until 2026 when it comes to live service games. But at the same time, Sean Layden, this is why I say Sean Layden needs to be back in the high chair, because he really understands the vision of PlayStation like in a very special way. And I feel like PlayStation is going to change dramatically over the next years or so, right? Over the next year or two, it's going to be a whole different type of PlayStation. And that's okay, right? Because, hey, they're trying to push the live service games. They're literally trying to push other agendas that they have, which is completely fine. But their single player games are their bread and butter, aka games like God of War Ragnarok, games like Horizon, Spider-Man, Wolverine. There's so many games that are currently in the pipeline right now that we need to get hype and excited for. And there's no doubt in my mind that God of War Ragnarok is going to be moving consoles like nobody's tomorrow. So to see developers saying that they want to back off of this situation and really give God of War its shine and space. I mean, look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty is in October, right? It's not in November. Like, this is just crazy how the industry is positioning themselves when it comes to certain releases and everything. And the only thing I can say from my heart is that I want Sony to be strong, to be successful, and I want Microsoft to be strong and successful. Like, I feel like at the end of the day, we need healthy competition. Healthy competition is really, really good. And I think Microsoft, on the other hand, they need to have the same presence that Sony have when it comes to their IPs. Like, they need juggernaut IPs like God of War, right? To where you got everybody literally excited. There's tons of stuff that's currently in development right now, okay? And Sony, at the beginning part of this generation, have been more aggressive when it comes to releasing more and more titles, right? Every single year since the PS5 came out, we had multiple releases from PlayStation. Whether some people think that it's worth $70 or not, hey, I digress. That's just the way it is, okay? But Sony have been putting out games out there. Now, the situation is, I would say that we need to understand that Sony, they know what their plans are, obviously, because they're the ones making the plans, right? I'll get to this super chat. 4K, thank you so much for the $2. Says we need an army of two for PS5. Yeah, Army of Two was a great game back in the day. And I really love the co-op aspect of it and stuff. And so we definitely do need, we definitely do need more and more multiplayer stuff. Obviously, they had Killzone, they had Warhawk, and things of that nature. And there's so many games I could sit here and cry out about. But at the same time, SOCOM, right? Like at the same time, like Sony needs to strengthen their multiplayer side of things. That's where they're weak at right now. And we know that they're working on that. They have the partnership with Deviation Games. They got Haven Studios working on what they're working on and everything. And that is cool, right? So we're just going to have to wait and see. But my God, God of War Ragnarok having a huge splash like this, it just shows you, man, that Sony is still in control, guys. When it comes to their IPs, they're still in control. They're number one for a reason. Yes, they're not perfect, right? They're not perfect. Just like Microsoft is not perfect. Microsoft's main goal is to get more gamers playing their games on any screen. As long as Game Pass is tied to that particular screen, that's where their focus is on right now. Getting more gamers playing their games beyond the Series X console. Sony's main focus here is like, okay, you're going to pay $70 for our day one exclusives. All right. Maybe 6 months later, you might get it on PC, or you might get it to our subscription service. That is our motto. That is our model that we're going to be pushing. And that's just the way it is, right? I guess both companies can't be the same. They have to be competitive, right? And regardless of the negative press that's been out there about Sony, hey, it is what it is. Microsoft as well, having 0 games literally coming out and 0 games at launch, and they're still working on stuff. We still need to give them time, buy time for them to come out with said games or whatever the case may be. But let's not forget, guys, the strength of Sony's IPs and the weight that they carry, aka God of War Ragnarok, having developers out here saying, man, we trying to back off of this situation right now. Let's just move our games elsewhere. Again, like I've said before, this won't be the first and it won't be the last. I guarantee you Spider-Man 2 is going to have the same splash. Like next year, hopefully no delays, when Spider-Man 2 comes out, a lot of developers are going to move around their release dates or whatever because they already know the splash that Spider-Man 2 is going to have. You know, and that's really amazing because the thing here is, guys, that the point I'm trying to drive home here is that when it comes to exclusive games, Sony is the king when it comes to exclusive games. Let's not fool ourselves with the fanboy narrative, and let's not forget on how Sony built themselves from day one with their exclusive title. Like, I'm going to talk more on this on Sunday, but Sony wants as much as they can to have every single game tied to their platform. Every time you see a trailer for a game pops up, they want you to see only on PlayStation at the end of the trailer. They want as many people playing on their platform versus the competition. That's just the way how it is. You're in business to make money. You're in business to reel in as much customers as possible, right? That's the main goal at the end of the day. And so Sony, whichever way you might look at it, some people say Sony is greedy. Some people said Sony is shisty, whatever the case may be. You got to do what you got to do to make it happen. You got to do what you got to do to win the hearts of gamers. Even if you got to step on some heads to get there, that's just the way how life works. These companies have been doing it since the beginning of time. And so I really wanted to sort of highlight a couple of things here. One, let's understand that Sony ain't scared of nobody. When they're backed in the corner, I am telling you, that's when they're at their best, because when they strike back with the games. Let's not forget about what Jim Ryan said, right? Let the games do the talking. And God of War Ragnarok is clearly doing the talking here. So let's give Sony their pointers where their pointers are due. Let's give them a pat on the back when it's due, right? Because the games are definitely doing the talking. God of War Ragnarok, biggest release of the year. if not the biggest release of the year, right? So it is definitely doing the talking because games are being moved out of the way just because of God of War, just because of the splash and the impact and how much of a juggernaut it is. 2, Sony knows what they're doing, right? I'm not in the boardroom. You guys are not in the boardroom. So Sony's been doing this for years, right? So they should already know what they're up against. They have to find a way to compete with Game Pass. They have already said like, oh, Game Pass is not sustainable, blah, blah, blah. You know, that type of subscription model will hurt the quality of their games, yada, yada, yada. So Sony is taking a different approach with their version of Game Pass, what value that they're offering, right, to their fan bases and everything like that, which is completely fine. But Sony's going to do what they're going to do. They're going to drop the games that they're going to drop, and people are going to be all over it, right? But like I said before, I'm always going to give them their credit where it's due. Like if they deserve to be called out for something anti-consumer or for something that they're doing that makes no sense, I'm going to call them out. But as far as Sony as a company, as far as PlayStation as a brand, man, let's not forget, guys. Let's not forget why PlayStation is the way they are right now. Let's not forget the strength of their IPs. And let's not forget about what the main goal here is to get gamers playing games, right? Obviously, they're going to continue to release games on PC. So God of War Ragnarok is going to be coming to PC. We don't know when, but we can assume that maybe within the next 6-7 months or so that it might make it way, maybe a year from now. But either way, it's going to have a big splash when it drops on PC. That's just the weight that PlayStation games carry at the end of the day, aka Spider-Man, right? So, guys, I really just wanted to highlight these things and really wanted to make a video talking about the impact that God of War Ragnarok is having here. Also, I'm going to throw up on the screen that originally planned for 2022, which is Hogwarts Legacy, is now delayed, or let's say pushed to February 10th, 2023. But we still got games this year to play. A lot of you guys on the PlayStation side of things, you are looking forward to Last of Us Part 1, right? You guys are looking forward to God of War Ragnarok, right? You're looking forward to Callisto Protocol, right? You're looking forward to NW2, right? You're looking forward to Evil West, right? You're looking forward to Saints Row, right? So there's obviously a lot of games to look forward to. Would I want Hogwarts Legacy this year? Unfortunately, it's February 10th, 2023. That's what the report is saying right now. This is coming directly from the Hogwarts Legacy Twitter account, okay? They said that Hogwarts Legacy will launch on February 10th, 2023 for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Nintendo Switch launch date will be revealed soon, so they don't have a particular date for Hogwarts Legacy, right, for the Nintendo Switch. But the team is excited for you to play, but we need a little more time to deliver the best possible game experience. That's fine. Take all the time that you need. That's okay. You know, and it's ironic because supposedly the game was supposed to be this year, and now we need more time, which is completely fine. But it makes you think, like, wow, everything is just getting pushed back till next year. And God of War, man. God of War. I'm just going to say God of War, man. That game is going to be huge. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. I cannot wait for God of War Ragnarok and the splash that it's going to have on gaming and on the PlayStation side of things. So how do you guys feel about what developers are saying about backing off of God of War Ragnarok, giving it its space and everything? Also, we're getting information out here directly from the devs that, you know, Hogwarts Legacy is not coming out until February 10th, 2023. Really need you guys' opinion on that one. And yeah, let's take some quick Q&A here. We're going to be getting ready for the THQ showcase that's supposed to be taking place. I believe it's at 2 p.m. today. So I'm going to try to do my best in streaming it for you guys and everything. So what do you guys think about Hogwarts Legacy? Not coming out this year, but February of next year. Let me know y'all thoughts on this one here. Let me go ahead and highlight this here. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It makes you really, really think, because it's like, wait a minute, like Hogwarts not coming out till next year? Ooh, boy. Take all the time you need, but golly, I don't know. I don't know. But all that we can do is we could just wait. That's all we could do is wait. Where did it go? Okay, there it is right there. Let me put it up on here. What is y'all thoughts on everything that we talked about today? We're in the Q&A portion right now. That's crazy, right? I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. Yeah, I know. Hogwarts Legacy basically delayed. So there you guys have it. There y'all have it, man. There y'all have it. It says, I can definitely see God of War hit in February as well. Hit in February? You mean God of War delayed till February? Honestly, I don't think God of War, I think God of War is going to just stand tall where it's at. I don't think God of War is going to be delayed or anything. I think this is it right here. I think that this is it right here. He says God of War game of the decade. Man, God of War is going to have such a huge impact on the PlayStation landscape and on gaming. I'm telling you, it's going to turn heads. I'm telling you that Sony's going to sell so much PS5s because of God of War. You know, like that's just the impact that the game have. And to really hear that developers are saying, hey, man, we're trying to back off right now. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you. Make sure you turn on that post notification bell. Like I said, God of War is already set for this year. God of War ain't getting delayed again. You know what I mean? It is what it is. This is what's actually happening. It's going down. Big Lump reacts. Thank you so much for the $2. Says we need a new Twisted Metal multiplayer. Oh, Twisted Metal. Yes. That's one of the biggest things right now, guys, that I've been saying is that Sony just need the multiplayer side of things to be strong again. You know, they have IPs. They have strong multiplayer IPs in the past. Killzone, they literally shut down the server. I think, what was it? Recently, or I think it's today, if I'm not mistaken, right? They're shutting down the server completely for Killzone. SOCOM, I mean, I grew up playing SOCOM, loved SOCOM back in the day, stemming from the PlayStation 2, like Warhawk, Mag. Y'all remember Mag? Oh my God, dude. Like I said before, they have the IPs, bro. But I think what it is, so Sony don't necessarily really want to kind of, you know, I don't think they really want to go back on those older IPs, but Mag was amazing. You know, Mag was amazing. Warhawk was amazing. SOCOM was amazing. Killzone was supposedly the Halo killer back in the day. You guys remember that, right? And Killzone had a big splash, but over time, it just seems like Killzone was just losing its touch. Resistance, you know, Uncharted. You guys remember Uncharted 4 multiplayer? How good that was, you know? And a lot of people really enjoyed that. Like I said before, there were some decent multiplayer games back in the day from PlayStation. And so I don't know if Sony is going to revitalize a lot of those multiplayer games, or they're just going to just forget about that one, right? And just completely just wipe the slate clean and give us fresh new multiplayer experiences. Again, they do have a lot of live service stuff by now. I think 10 games by now until 2026. So you guys have to remember the history of Sony's multiplayer stuff. And generally speaking, I know a lot of people would say, oh, well, PlayStation is labeled as the single player box because, well, let's be honest, they're known for their single player games versus their multiplayer games, right? And so the storytelling is top notch. You know, regardless of what people want to say, oh, it's a one done experience, you cannot deny the feeling that you get when you're playing a PlayStation single player exclusive, whether it's Kratos trying to be a dad to Atreus or Horizon, Aloy, you know, literally taking down machines in a open world aspect and trying to save the world, right? Or if you can really, really tie into being a treasure thief, you know, Nathan Drake, right? I think that, you know, there are some very memorable games from PlayStation when it comes to their single player stuff. But when it comes to the multiplayer stuff, you know, one can sit here and think like, man, where is Warhawk? Like, we would love Warhawk. We would love Mag. We would love SOCOM and Resistance and Killzone. And I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see, guys. Ultimately says, bro, I wish you would wake up early, bro. If this is true that developers is moving their games because of God of War, they have no confidence in their games. It's not a necessary matter of no confidence in their games. Obviously, factions as well. It's not really confidence, I would say. It's just certain games, you know, the big splash that certain games is gonna have. You know that a lot of, you know, a lot of games are just not going to perform well next to juggernaut titles like Call of Duty, God of War, and the list goes on, right? But let's not forget about the new ambitious title that Naughty Dog is working on, which is Factions 2. Let's not forget about that, right? That is going to be, I'm pretty sure, amazing because the original Factions was great. Okay, I know some people were salty behind not having Factions in The Last of Us, right? Remake. But hey, they're preparing us for a new experience with multiplayer. And obviously, I cannot wait to see how Naughty Dog is going to be shaping up this experience. And I hope that it really captures the hearts and minds of people. So Sony is really turning up the heat here when it comes to multiplayer stuff. Deviation Games, Haven Studios, Factions 2, the list goes on and on and on. So there is some stuff that is going to get ready to drop. But the thing is, how much of a big impact it's going to have and how long would it last? That's the biggest thing, right? So we're just going to have to wait and see. It says, no, Marlon, you're wrong. Sony has been labeled single player only since PS4 gen. They had so many multiplayer games in PS1 and PS2 and PS3. No, here's my thing. Oh, my man, Kratos 99. Thank you so much for the $20. No, I understand that. But I am just saying from a historical standpoint, they're more known for their single player games, right? That's what everybody to this day, all from PS1 all the way up till now, they're known. Sony is known for their single player games. That's their biggest strength, is their single player games. But we're not going to forget about their multiplayer games as well. So I do understand that portion of what you're saying. Thank you so much for the $20. Says Marlon, other developers aren't ready for Kratos versus Thor. Man, I'm telling you, thank you for the silent 20. For real. Most definitely. Let's see here. It says, this guy must not be a Sony PlayStation gamer. God of War is Sony. I don't know which guy he's talking about. Let's see here. Any more questions? Silent 20. Yes, sir. On a crazy Friday, by the way, we have a crazy Friday situation. Come on in with your thoughts, criticisms, whatever. Super chats are welcome. I'm taking some questions right now, and we're going to be dialing into our coverage of the THQ showcase. I believe there was a leak out on Alone in the Dark. So it seems like the snitch is right on the money again. I love Sony. I played only on PlayStation till 2018. Didn't even know what Xbox had to offer, but Sony's answer to Brazil hurts me because you are right. Sony have amazing titles. They do. They do. Of course they do, man. They do have amazing titles, and that's what differentiates them from everybody else in the industry. Nintendo is known for their single player games as well. They're not known for multiplayer stuff. They're known for their single player stuff. You get what I'm saying? That is their strongest, that's their strength. You know, that's their strongest position is their single player games. That's what they're known for. Like Nintendo and Sony, that's what they're known for, right? So you just have to remember that type of stuff. My man, Ed Wig, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Says Warhawk was the first game I played on. Warhawk was the first game I played online on the PS3. It would be nice. Oh, appreciate that. Oh, really now? That is interesting. I just got a tweet. It says I played online on the PS3. It would be nice if they bring it back for PS5. Warhawk is fire. Warhawk was the GOAT. Okay, Warhawk was the GOAT. My man OG Gaming with the $10 showing mad love. Crazy Friday, bring it on. Let's get it popping. Big Lump Reacts with the $2 says, I hate that you have to stream PS3 games on PlayStation Plus. Yeah, listen, man, that is one of the biggest things, right? At the beginning part of this generation was that everybody was believing the rumors, right? And everything that, oh, we're going to be getting, we're going to be getting, I got you. And you don't have to give it back to me. I was going to send it anyway. Give me a sec. Everybody was saying what they were saying, right? About the situation that was unfolding. Because here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I know some people was like saying that, well, oh, God of War Ragnarok, blah, blah, blah. Some people was hoping that it was going to have co-op and everything like that. Certain games just need to stay the way how they were created to be in the first place, right? And so Elden Ring, I know there's no denying that Elden Ring could very well get Game of the Year, right? Because I think Elden Ring, with the release of that game, just blew everybody away, okay? And so when it comes to PS3, at the beginning part of this generation, the main talk was, oh, you can natively play PS3 games on your PS5. And so a lot of people was hoping that you could play PS1, PS2, and PS3 games and PS4 games natively on the PS5. So a lot of people was like sold on the rumors of Sony just making it that way. But well, now they're working on that. But still, I feel like the streaming of the PS3 games, you have to have a decent internet connection in order to have the best experience. And even at that point, you're going to run into lag. You're going to run into some frame drops or whatever the case may be, right? Whatever, right? Because a lot of people are saying, well, man, I would really like to download the game natively on my PS5 and play it. But obviously, we're just going to have to wait on Sony. And I feel like the way how they're treating their legacy titles, that's another thing. I feel like they can do a better job doing better when it comes to their legacy titles. Just my opinion. I feel like they're treating it like an afterthought versus where Microsoft, they come out and they're really trying to show you guys how it's done when it comes to their back catalog, higher frame rate, you know, higher resolution, HDR, all these different things, right? Whereas Sony is just like, they're doing stuff like, okay, well, we're going to add trophies. And it's just, I don't know, man. I just don't know. But we'll see, guys. We'll see. It says, bro, you have seen Last of Us remake for PS5. I don't see any differences between the two. Do you? I sure God of War is not going to look all that different from 2018, bro. Listen. When it comes to God of War Ragnarok, right? I don't know what people are expecting. Like, of course, God of War Ragnarok is going to look the way it looked, right? Because of what? We already know it's a modified version of the same engine, right, that they're using. And it's still going to be on the PlayStation 4. But at the same time, I think a lot of people wanted God of War Ragnarok to look completely different. But it is what it is, right? Is that going to stop you from playing the game because, well, you want the game graphically to look so amazing? No, graphics does not make a game, right? It's obviously the story, the gameplay, the graphics, the sound. There's so many other things, but the main thing that makes a game is the gameplay. The gameplay has to be 100% good, right? To hook you in. So I don't think a lot of people that love God of War really cares about, oh, it looks similar to God of War 2018, or what David Jaffe was saying, like, oh, it's DLC. Like, people are not really caring, right? If you're a diehard God of War fan, you're not going to care that it looks similar to 2018. What you care about is fighting Thor and fighting all the other gods that are going to be in the game and exploring the 9 realms and all this type of stuff, right? And see how the story unfolds. People are really not going to really care so much about, oh, it's looking similar to God of War 2018. So I know some people are like, I'm not going to buy it because it looks like God of War 2018. Like, again, come on, man. Like, you can't help but say to yourself, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick it up, bro. I'm going to pick it up. Let's see here. It says good on Sony, blocking Microsoft. It's business, MGN. Of course, it's business, which we're going to talk about. We're definitely going to talk about it. But I just feel like, and case in point, a lot of people are saying, well, Elden Ring is not worth it, right? Oh, it's not my type of game. Well, if you don't like it, then it is what it is, right? Doesn't matter. Nobody can sell you on a game that you don't like. Okay, period. Elden Ring is not for everybody. Elden Ring is not for everyone at all. It's not an everybody type of game, which is completely fine. Okay, so I just really wanted to come out here and kind of highlight a couple things. But if you look at the reviews, if you look at the impact that Elden Ring have on the industry, man, I'm just saying, hey, that's just the way it is. You know, Elden Ring is not a everybody type of game. But if you look at the scale of the game, if you look at what the game is offering, right, and the developer that it's actually coming from, you already know, just like Santa Monica, they make game of the year type games. Like, that's just the way it is. They make high caliber games. From Software is known to put out high quality stuff. They are known to put out, you know, games that are critically acclaimed. I'm just saying. Come in with your questions, guys. Come in with your questions. If you have any more questions or anything like that, we're having a quick discussion and stuff like that. Do you think Elden? Yeah, I think it's a huge possibility that it could get Game of the Year. You know, I think it's a huge possibility. Ragnarok could possibly win Game of the Year, but you do have to understand, like, I think I forgot when the cutoff point is before Jeff Keighley is like, okay, this game won't make it into, you know, the Game Awards for Game of the Year or whatever the case may be. But like, God of War, I think, is cutting it close, but at the same time, Elden Ring, let's not forget about Elden Ring, guys. I think God of War Ragnarok, it's going to be a battle, bro. You got God of War Ragnarok, you have Elden Ring, you have Horizon, okay? Like, you got 3 juggernaut titles going head to head. Like, will Horizon win Game of the Year? I don't think so. Because you got to remember, Elden Ring, bro, like, that game, I don't know, the impact that game had, the amount of views that they said, how many records that it broke on YouTube, and like perfect 10 out of 10 scores from the critics, and impact. I mean, let's not forget about Elden Ring. I'm just saying. So it's gonna be an interesting It's going to be an interesting game of the year lineup this year and how it actually turns out. Let's see here. Big Lump reacts with the $2, says, I hope Sony reconsiders Days Gone 2. I don't know, man. I don't know, because it really was stemming from Sony Ben that they didn't really want to do a sequel, apparently. And so I don't know. Only one could really hope. One could really hope that that's the case, but we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. Bro, I'm sorry I didn't like God of War 2018 because of how they changed the gameplay, and I will pass on this God of War Ragnarok. Again, like I said before, and I'll say it again, God of War is not for everybody. And I think when God of War 2018 came out, a lot of people did not like the style of the gameplay, right? Because they said, oh, Kratos is too soft and Kratos is not as brutal as he was in the other God of War games, right? People are used to Kratos going around ripping, God's heads off and all this type of stuff and gore everywhere, blah, blah, blah. People want that type of stuff. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they obviously changed the tone of the game. The story changed, so the tone is going to change and the gameplay is going to change. So a lot of people want God of War to go back to its roots. But God of War 2018 is literally a masterpiece because of the story. I thought, my opinion is that the gameplay was amazing, right? The gameplay was amazing. Obviously, Kratos and Atreus working together was amazing. It fit the gameplay style, and it also fit the story that was being told here, making God of War Ragnarok coming out like potentially be another masterpiece because of God of War 2018, because it's an extension, it's a sequel. And so, man, it's just people want that angry Kratos. That's what people grew up on. That's what I grew up on. You know what I mean? People want that brutal Kratos. Like, people don't want to see Kratos like out here with his son, teaching his son and preparing his son for what's next and preparing his son how to fight, these enemies and things like that that they're going to encounter on their journey, right? I'm not going to spoil the game for anybody who haven't played it, but a lot of people didn't like that, and that's okay. And a lot of people are saying, well, that's not going to stop them from buying God of War Ragnarok because they enjoyed 2018. Some people are saying they're not going to buy the game. But hey, it is what it is. Hopefully the next God of War game, because this is the last game, right, that's in this mythology, the Norse mythology and everything like that. So they're going to be going out of that. And hey, hopefully they can go back to brutal Kratos and a lot of you guys will be happy or whatever the case may be. But hey, we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens. Angry Man Kratos was funny though. Hey, yeah, for sure. And a lot of people say, oh, he's too old, so that's why, right? But hey, it says, I think it's hard for any game to go up against God of War and win, in my opinion. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. I mean, that's why they're saying the things that they're saying right now. It's just that's why they're saying the things that they're saying right now. But ultimately, guys, like I said before, God of War is gonna sell, regardless of how some people say, "Oh, I'm not gonna buy it." It's gonna sell. It's gonna do huge numbers for PlayStation. Let's not forget that. Ray, what's up, man? How you doing? How you doing? Appreciate the love and the support. We're out here. We're putting in the work for you guys. So yeah, let's not forget that, guys. Let's not forget. Let's come in with the questions here. Let's see here. It says, bro, when Sony wake up and stop being lazy, bro, and they do a real God of War remake from PS2 for PS5, then I will be happy to check it out. All right, here's the thing. I know that a lot of you guys are saying that you're tired of remakes, you're tired of remasters, but on the flip side, you guys want games to be remade that you love and care about, and then you will purchase it. Like, for instance, we saw the remake of God of War, right? The original God of War. Somebody, I think, remade it in Unreal Engine 5, I believe. And a lot of people will say, man, like, this is the type of stuff that Sony needs to remake. Sony Santa Monica needs to get to work on remaking the original God of War, right? And just blow us all away. Go back to the roots. Like, a lot of people missed out on playing the original God of War on PS2 when it was launched, right? And so them doing a remake of that game, that would be acceptable. So you see, people are accepting of the right remakes or the right remasters, right? That's the thing. It's like, on one hand, you hear some people say, oh, I'm tired of remakes. I'm tired of remasters. But if you make the right remaster or right remake, people will be all over it. You get what I'm saying? So you just have to look at it from that perspective, right? And just say, well, oh, I get what's going on here. I will accept a remake if it's something that I care about, versus them just going out here and making remakes and things like that that you guys don't care about. You're not going to buy it, and you're going to say, well, I don't think this is worth $70. Well, you got to decide that. Nobody can make up your mind for you on what's worth $70. I can sit here and say, I don't like this game. I don't think it's worth $70. But at the end of the day, you have to decide that for yourselves, right? You got to decide that if you want to purchase a remake for $70 or not. If you like it enough, for a lot of people with the whole Last of Us situation, Last of Us Part 1 situation, for me per se, I've played the game on PS3. I've played it on PS4. And there's nothing new as far as story goes or as far as new content goes, right? So, hey, they changed up the characters. They make the environment look better, things of that nature. That's not enough for some people. Like, for me per se, that's not enough for me to go out there and spend $70 on. I'm just going to be honest with you guys on that. Okay. Now, me saying that it's not worth it for me to go out there and spend $70 on said game, you might have a different outlook. You might be like, man, you tripping, bro. I'm buying that. I'm buying it because it's built from the ground up on PS5. And if you never played it before, if you never played the original Last of Us, well, the remake is going to be worth it for you because you never played the original. You missed out on the PS4 version and you missed out on the PS3 version. So again, different strokes for different folks, right? And in Sony's head, that's the way they're thinking. Like, maybe a lot of people missed out on playing, you know, the original Last of Us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to remake it, right? So that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is. It says, should PlayStation PC port support Geforce now to make it open to more PC gamers? I mean, Geforce now, obviously what I've seen, because I haven't really been dibbling and dabbling into too much PC stuff, but what I've seen is, well, it's on Steam. And everybody got Steam at this point, right? So I think that's as much widespread as it is. But yeah, I think having it more available on every storefront when it comes to PC stuff, yeah, that will be great. Hence why, you know, Sony is doing the things that they're doing, right? They really want to have their own storefront potentially for their PC games to where you can access them and purchase them and do whatever it takes or whatever, you know, to get you playing their games and stuff. Hence why we're getting Spider-Man and all that type of stuff. But hey, that's just what it is. So appreciate you guys, man, on that one. My man, Damian Butler with the $20. Shout outs to Damian Butler. Says, happy Friday, MGN family. God bless. Yes, yes. Keep the blessing coming, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for the super chats, man. We're out here putting in the work. MC Capital says God of War 1, 2, and 3. Let me see that. God of War 1, 2, and 3 with 2018 gameplay. Oh, man. Oh, man. Hey, man. MC, you already know, man. Listen, man. God of War is one of the greatest games ever made. Okay? You literally have, I think it was the Prey movie director is literally saying that he was inspired by God of War 2018. I think with the shield and something else, right? So God of War is a juggernaut title. God of War is a staple. when it comes to the gaming industry and a lot of games, taking off of God of War. Remember with the quick time, button prompts that's on screen, a lot of games got that from God of War. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy, guys. Let's not forget, man. Let's not forget how big of a splash when God of War was on PS2, when it first came out. A lot of games was inspired. Now we have more and more movies coming out that are inspired by a lot of games, and that is okay. But obviously, Prey was inspired in some sense when it comes to God of War 2018, right? And so you love to see it, man. You love to see, movie directors, get inspired in some way, shape, or form from a game, right? And so that's the impact that God of War got, Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Let's get it poppin'. Hey. Thank you so much. He says, good stream, liking the old background again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For sure. Most definitely. Thank you so much for the $2 for activating Goku. We're out here on a crazy Friday. Says, break-in Hogwarts Legacy has been officially delayed. Check the news. You see the title, right? I already talked about it. February 10th, 2023. Need more time to work on it. Yeah, it's in the title, man. It's in the title. I got you. You know what I mean? I got you. We out here. You know what I mean? We're out here. So, yes, sir. Now, the very interesting topic that we're going to talk about on our Let's Talk series is we're going to talk about Sony paying, block fees to developers to stop games from coming to Game Pass. We're going to talk about that in full capacity on Sunday, okay? Because the last stream that we were talking about that on literally had some audio issues, and I was having some issues with it, being on YouTube or whatever the case may be. Like, something was going on, so I had to take the whole stream down. But we'll talk about that also on our next episode. After this one, we're going to talk about Xbox, and we're also going to talk about, can Xbox have the same splash when it comes to Sony with their games and such? Can they have a big splash like God of War? It's possible. They have a lot of things in the pipeline, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. Angel says, I think the PSP God of Wars are deserving of a remake. Yeah, for sure. Ghost of Sparta, oh my God, dude, was insane. Happy Cloud Gaming says, I'm so glad I found this channel 100. Thank you so much. Nedson, what's good? Appreciate the love and the support. Let's get it popping. Says more information has come out about the block fees. It's more clarification. That's what I said. We're going to talk about it on Sunday. So I got you guys. Make sure you tag me Zilla out on Twitter with any information that you have pertaining to anything. I got you guys. It says, while you guys are getting annoyed, everything's delayed. Who gives a doggone? Hey, listen, man. It is what it is. Like, at this point, a game gets delayed. It's okay, right? I mean, it's a bummer that you can't get to play it, but it has a chance of being great. It has a chance of blowing you away when it comes out. So it's okay. It's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the world. Marlon, good morning, bro. Just wanted to say that I'm excited for God of War Ragnarok. Bro, just as PlayStation fanboy, Sony been disappointing me lately by the choices they have been making. Hey, man, we've been getting a lot of reports coming out, right? The whole Call of Duty situation, right? And I think that ultimately a lot of you guys are feeling the way how you're feeling. Obviously, with the whole situation with the live service stuff, a lot of you guys are not happy about Sony, doing the live service push and everything. So it's just a lot of different things that they're doing that people are just not in agreement with, which, hey, Sony don't care, right? They're going to keep doing what they're going to do. My whole thing is like, I wanted Sony to really talk more to their fans and just, I don't know, just communicate more, right? And hopefully that will kind of fix a lot of the issues. But hey, man, that's just my opinion. Nedson says, what's good with God of War? God of War is literally making developers back out when it comes to their games and stuff, releasing their games around the same time. Like, they're backing off. This was coming from Tim Geddes from Kind of Funny. He's the co-founder of Kind of Funny. And he's literally saying that he was on business calls and he was hearing from some people that developers are like wanting to avoid God of War Ragnarok because, hey, why release your game around the same time God of War is coming out? You know, it's a huge title. So it says, I'm feeling betrayed by Sony, to be honest. Man, the only thing that we could do is try to let our voice be heard on what they need to change and what they need to do different and hope that they can, you know, they can do that. I mean, that's the only thing that we could do, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Okay. Gotcha. So 2023 belongs to Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be huge, man. Breath of the Wild is going to have a huge impact, but we'll see. We'll definitely see how it actually turns out. Says, I'm not asking for a release date. Where's the gameplay? Everwild, State of Decay 3. All those games are in high development right now. Fable, all of that stuff. Deep development. Fable is at least maybe another 2 years out max. Maybe another 2.5 years max out. You know, Perfect Dark, still another 2+ years out. Like, these games are in deep development. State of Decay 3 as well. Like, these games are taking time. That is the thing, man. That is the thing on the Microsoft side. Like, they have games coming out, but we got to wait. One thing that Sony got going for them is, well, look at here. Look what we got here, guys. Games after games after games, right? They've released what? Uncharted. Whether or not people wanted the Uncharted collection, Legacy of Thieves collection, whatever the case may be, right? Then they released Horizon, right? Then they released GT7, right? They got Stray, right? Then they're going to be releasing God of War Ragnarok, right? They got, wait for it, Last of Us Remake. That's 6 games right there. That is 6 games right there. Obviously, with Ghostwire Tokyo, that's like a time exclusive title, right? So I guess if you count that in there, that's 7. Like, they had so much stuff released or releasing this year over their competition. So you got to give credit where credit's due. And that's something that I could say about Sony. Like, they have been aggressive year on year, at least 4 or 5 games a year. That's pretty solid. Microsoft has to follow suit. You know what I mean? Microsoft has to follow suit. Like, they have to do the same thing, because here's the thing, bro. Like, you have all these games in development, but you got to release them. You have to release them year on year. You got to release at least minimum 3 or 4 titles for the year for people to feel like, oh my God, yes, exciting. They can sign up for Game Pass. They can, you know, feel like, well, they can get all these first party games day one on the actual subscription service, and voila, they're good to go, right? While some people, they don't really care about the first party stuff. They just care about third party stuff or whatever they can play on there and be happy. Everybody just want what they want. So, what if Sony punch all the talent from Xbox and make it FPS? Oh, wow. It says Xbox is the new Sega, buying companies and failed. Man, listen, bro. The thing is, and I've said this for the longest time, right? Is that you have to look at it from this perspective. We've been waiting and waiting since the launch of the Series X. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Like 2021, we got Horizon, right? We have Horizon. We had Halo, right? And so, well, that was it, right? A lot of people was blown away by those 2 games. Those two games were the biggest releases that they had last year. And this year, we don't have anything. We're just going to have to wait the next 12 months. Within the next 12 months or so, we're going to start having more and more games releasing and everything. So let's just see what happens in the middle of the generation, because it's going to be, and Sony ain't backing down. Microsoft ain't backing down. So, oh, Psychonauts 2. Yeah. I forgot. I keep forgetting about that game. But the crazy part is, it's going to be interesting to see games like Hellblade 2, games like State of Decay 3, Everwild, all these games. Like, it's going to be interesting, guys, to really see the dynamic of these games going head to head with the competition. You know, man, it's crazy. The games are coming. The games are definitely coming. Johnny says, in your last stream, you said Sony wasn't being aggressive. Now, all of a sudden, they... No. I'm saying, when it comes to being aggressive, I'm saying as far as a communication standpoint, I feel like they're not being aggressive enough in that department. Like, they need to be aggressive, communicating more with their fans, asking their fans what they want when it comes to games and such. Like how Microsoft is more hands-on, more aggressive, right? Now, when it comes to their games, they have been releasing more games than Microsoft. That is a fact, right? So the thing is in the communication department, that's why a lot of people was furious about God of War Ragnarok. I mean, we went almost, 10 months without even knowing anything about God of War Ragnarok, if it was still going to come out or not. Then we start having more and more stuff officially coming out, piece of information here and there. And then Sony finally opened up with, you know, doing a blog post, giving us a release date, yada, yada, yada. Right. Then we had the voice actor for Kratos saying that, you know, he was injured and stuff like that. And he was blaming himself for the game being delayed, blah, blah, blah. Like I said before, like, it all comes down to the communication aspect of everything. Like, you need to communicate with your fans more. Like, I feel like they need to be more aggressive and start showing more and more games, like as far as upcoming games, like just not waiting on the traditional way of doing things. Like every September we get a PS5 showcase. Start showing more games, like games that you do have, games that are ready to be shown. Start showing more of it to get people hyped, to get people excited. That's kind of like where I'm coming from with my own opinion, right? Like I really want them to do that. Like Spider-Man 2 is supposedly coming out next year. Man, start showing some Spider-Man 2. Have a dedicated, you know, state of play or something like that for your upcoming games. You know, every other month, whatever the case may be, however you want to release it, right? And that will get people excited. They can get to see, you know, a lot of these upcoming games and everything. But hey, it is what it is. We just have to wait on how Sony is going to be doing their thing. They want us to wait on the PS5 showcase. They have PlayStation Experience. That's their E3-like of show that they haven't done in a while. And so we'll see, man. We'll see. You know, we'll see. We'll see, man. Let's see here. He says, ID like Phil and other execs from Microsoft to be as aggressive as this lawyers of their with Sony. Yeah, Microsoft need to be aggressive too with their releases of their games. I mean, they communicate, but they need to be more aggressive. You know what I mean? Start releasing more and more games. Like I said, the games are coming, so we're just going to have to wait and see, right? We know for the past 2 years what we have gotten, right? Not that much from them. And we know that they have a lot of things in the first party department coming out. Redfall will have 30-minute with new gameplay at QuakeCon 2022. Just sound like the game is doing well. Yeah, for sure. And that's cool. That's cool because the game is delayed till next year and we're seeing more and more of the game. That is 100% what I'm talking about. Start showing more and more games, right? You know, over the course of the 12 months that we have, even if the game is coming out next year, and that will get a lot of people excited. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys would really and truly want a dedicated state of play for each big releases, right? Every single time, right? I'm just saying, Redfall is going to be fire. You know what I mean? Redfall is going to be fire. And so Redfall is going to be fire and everything. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Redfall. You know, like it looks good to me. Right. And so there are games that they have in the pipeline that I care about, you know, that I want to play, you know, from the Xbox side of things. So, yeah, guys, let's not forget that. Nintendo never involved themselves in console back and forth. Exactly. It's Sony and Microsoft, man. Says, bro, I hope you will talk about Sony on bring their games to PC. Bro, I feel that this is not good for the PS5, but that is just how I feel. Okay. Listen. The whole situation, right, with Sony bringing their games to PC is business. It's simple business. They're trying to get more and more people playing PlayStation games, regardless of the platform that it's on, right? Same thing with Microsoft. So Sony is trying to go beyond the PS5. They're trying to go beyond the console. PlayStation fans are not used to that type of stuff, right? They're used to games just being exclusive to the console, right? And so with that type of shift, having Horizon and Days Gone and God of War and Spider-Man and Miles Morales and Uncharted and all this stuff coming to PC, some of their biggest IPs coming to another platform, a lot of people are not okay with that, but it's business, right? That's the main takeaway here, guys. It's business at the end of the day, right? So they're going to do what's best for their business at the end of the day. They're trying to get more gamers involved with PlayStation. They're trying to get people to buy to buy a PS5. They're trying to get more and more people that are brand new to PlayStation to get into PlayStation by playing their games on PC, right? Also, they're trying to get as much sales from the IP as much as possible, right? And so that's their main memo. That's their main objective, is to get more people involved with their games, right? Same thing with Microsoft. They're trying to get more gamers playing their games, no matter what screen it's on, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your tablet, whether it's on your TV, right? They have the whole Samsung TV situation going on where you don't even need a console. Everything is in the cloud, right? Like Sony is trying to go into that direction. And a lot of people don't like that. That's why I said, like, there's a lot of things that Sony is doing that a lot of people are not in agreement with. You know, Spider-Man coming to PC, a lot of people were salty about that. And I'm like, guys, if God of War can make it to PC, if Horizon can make it to PC, any game can make it to PC from PlayStation first party studios. That's just the way it is, right? And what can you do? They're going to keep on doing that because they want to sell more. Like after the game runs its initial course on consoles, then they're going to put it on PC to get even more sales out of it. Can you imagine the amount of money that Spider-Man is going to make for Sony? Do you know how many copies of that game, once we get the numbers and stuff, it's going to be staggering, right? So Sony knows exactly what they're doing. Nintendo, on the other hand, Nintendo wants to keep you grounded on their consoles. Nintendo don't want you go anywhere else, right? You cannot play Mario anywhere else but on Nintendo consoles. That's just the way it is. They don't want you going anywhere else. They don't want you playing Zelda anywhere else. They don't want you to play Donkey Kong anywhere else. Like, people are always going to emulate and do whatever they want to do on PC and stuff like that. But Nintendo, case in point, Nintendo is just like right here, front and center. They want you to be grounded with their console. That's their main memo. That's what they're trying to do, you know? So we just gotta understand that, guys. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. It says games need voice acting on Switch. Oh God. Nintendo wins the family fan base. Let's see here. It says you can't even watch a video. Oh God, I can't with you guys, man. He said, I can't with you guys. Let me get to the super chat. Oscar Wheat with the $5. Oh my God. It says, just curious if graphics don't matter and it's truly about the story for God of War. Why get on PS5 if you have a PS4? Okay. Obviously, graphics does matter, but I feel like graphics should not be the only reason why you're buying a game. That is my point. Like, yes, you can play God of War Ragnarok on PS4 and be fine, but there are features that the PS5 offers, right? When it comes to the haptics and the adaptive triggers and the Pulse 3D headset and the fast loading times and the IO throughput and graphics and all that type of stuff, right? But at the same time, like that, the graphics should not just be the main reason why you're buying the game in the first place. It should be the story. It seems like this whole generation with these newer consoles have us poisoned to just graphics. Like, you know, it's like we're just seasoned to just graphics. And like I said before, hey, it is what it is, right? Yeah. The graphics does help sell the game, but if the gameplay is garbage, right? If the gameplay is trash, then you're not going to really care as much about graphics. Like, the graphics could be amazing, but if the gameplay is trash, you're not going to want to play it because the gameplay is trash. The fundamental part about the game, the main core, mechanic of the game, which is the gameplay, is garbage. So come on, man. Let's see here. Come on, man. You know, graphics is the biggest draw to the game purchase. Okay, like I said, yes, graphics is a big part of it this generation, right? But at the same time, that should not be your main focus. That should not be your main focus in buying a game. Yes, like every time when we see a game, a next generation game, we're like, yo, look at the graphics. Oh my God. But then when you look at the gameplay, you're like, nah, bro, I ain't buying this game. The gameplay is garbage. That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, we are seasoned. Yes, we are triggered to look at something and to be blown away by it graphically. But if the story is garbage, if the gameplay is garbage, it doesn't matter how good it looks. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to buy a game just because of graphics and then the gameplay and story is garbage. No, like, it has to fire off on all cylinders. Like, the gameplay has to be top notch. The story has to be. I'm not buying God of War Ragnarok because of the graphics. I'm buying God of War Ragnarok because it's God of War and what I grew up on and how good the story is and how good the character is and how good the gameplay is, how good the sound is, how good the characters is, how good the sound is, right? And the environment and everything else that makes the game great. That's why I'm buying God of War Ragnarok. I'm buying God of War Ragnarok because of Kratos. I'm buying God of War Ragnarok because of Atreus and all this stuff, right? And all the other characters in the game. Not just the graphics. Yeah, the graphics is a piece of it. The graphics definitely makes it up, but you got to understand, like, gameplay is king. Gameplay is king. Yes, we all get hyped when we see high quality games and stuff like that when it comes to the graphics. Oh man, I'm buying this game because it looks so amazing. But when you look at the story and the gameplay, you're like, okay, right? And then the voice acting, all that stuff makes up a game, man. It's not just the graphics, and I feel like that's a big stepping point for a lot of people, right? This generation is that it's about the graphics because these systems are giving us graphics that we have never seen before in the console space, right? So obviously That's just how some people feel and think about it. I got to get to these donations. Mario says, I don't mind the console wars. I don't mind the fanboys. I feel nowadays that hold on. Oh man, I got thrown off with this other donation. It says, I feel nowadays that we manifest a console and gaming community that complains and whines all the time. Social media has made everything worse because people just moans and complains all the time. People are going to complain. People are going to complain. That's just the way it is. People are going to complain. There's literally nothing you can do about people complaining. That's just the way it is, right? People are going to complain. Oscar says, you buy next gen for graphics, bruh. If that's the case, you keep the last gen console. If that's the case, it's DLC, right? No. It's not to say that it's just DLC. No, it's yes. That's one of the biggest selling points, right? For a lot of people. Like I said, it makes up a big portion of the selling point, the graphics, right? People want to see better graphics, but let's not forget about gameplay. Let's not forget about story. Let's not forget about the characters and the environment. Let's not forget about the sound and the voice acting. Let's not forget about the production, right? Yes, of course. Next gen is all about the graphics and how faster the games are loading, and this, all those things are big factors, but the biggest thing here is the gameplay. Right? The gameplay and the story, because here's the thing. If the story and the gameplay is trash, you're probably not going to buy the game. Doesn't matter how good the game looks, you're probably not going to buy the game. Period. It says, bro, why can't Sony just make their own device to stream their games to PC, and then Sony can say only on PS5, because as of now, why get a PS5? Well, here's the thing. Why get a PS5? Because they're not doing day and date with PC. So that's why I get a PS5, right? You get a PS5 because you cannot get their day one exclusives anywhere else but on PlayStation 5, right? That's why you get a PlayStation 5. That's why. Now, if you're just the type of gamer that you want to wait a year, you want to wait 6, 7, 8 months down the road, or you want to wait 2 years later, you know what I mean? Then you're going to be missing out. You're going to be missing out. But that's the reason why you buy a PlayStation 5. You buy a PlayStation 5 because you want day one exclusives, right? That's the whole selling point behind the PS5. You want day one exclusives, right? Because they're not doing day and date with PC. Okay. Now you're going to have to wait some months. You're going to have to wait a year. So that's the reason why buy a PS5. Not everybody wants to sit around and wait 6, 7 months, 8 months to play a game. Like, I mean, you don't have to do that. So that is the selling point. That is a selling point. And that's one of the main reasons why Microsoft, they don't really care if you buy their console or not, because they know they can get you on the phone. They can get you on the tablet. They can get you on the TV. I mean, fridge, whatever. Like, they're trying to get their games on every screen possible. Sony, on the other hand, they're still staying tried and true to their consoles and everything like that. Like, they still want you to buy their consoles for their day one exclusives, right? And then further down the road, they'll put it on PC. It says, I think people will get angry over God of War Ragnarok. It's not going to have huge different graphics over the last one. I'm looking forward to the story and the gameplay. I understand that. But again, man, you can't make everybody happy. Like, for me, like, I'm okay. I can't wait to see the gameplay. And I can't wait to see the combat and everything like that, and how much it's changed from God of War 2018. But from a story standpoint, I'm already sold, because I know the gameplay is going to be solid. It's God of War, right? And even though the graphics might not blow people away, that should not be the reason why you don't buy the game, because of the graphics. You know what I mean? Especially, God of War is going to get 10 out of 10 across the board for people who make their purchases around review scores and around what critics have to say. It's going to get 10 out of 10 across the board. That we have another masterpiece potentially on our hands, right? And so, hey, we'll see. We'll definitely see. And it's as simple. If you guys, my whole thing is this. It's simple. If you guys don't like the way how God of War look graphically, then just don't buy the game. It's as simple as that. Just don't buy the game. Do yourself a favor. Just don't buy the game. Just don't buy it. Wait for Callisto Protocol or buy Last of Us remake or wait for Spider-Man 2 or whatever the case may be. Just don't buy the game. It's as simple as that. You know what? That is a cut and dry statement, man. So true. Just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. If you don't like the way how God of War, because whining and complaining about graphics and all that type of stuff is not going to change the reality of how the game is already almost done now. It's about to go gold. So regardless of what we're saying about graphics, it's a little bit too late for that party. So all we can do is just not buy the game. If you don't want to buy God of War because of graphics, just don't buy it. You're just going to miss out on God of War Ragnarok. It is what it is. Other people are not going to really care. They're going to buy the game regardless. Now, the next God of War game, that's going to be the game that graphically is going to blow us away. Right? So, hey, man, it is what it is, man. Everybody likes what they like. So it is what it is. You just don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Like everybody always tell me, just don't buy it. Very cut and dry statement. Just don't buy the game. If you don't like it because of how it looks graphically, and that's a big selling point for you, just don't buy it. Simple. It says, bro, how long do you think, let me see here. How long do you think it will take Sony to put it on PC? I think maybe 6 months. Who knows? Maybe longer than that. Maybe longer than that. You can never predict Sony. You just don't know what they're going to do, right? Maybe longer than 6 months. You might be waiting for a year. You really might be waiting for a whole year before they put God of War Ragnarok on PC. Look at Spider-Man 2018. Look how long. Spider-Man literally came out in 2018 and it's just now making it to PC. Right? I'm just saying. Look at Miles Morales. Miles Morales is literally coming out on Sony's website. It said that Miles Morales is coming out in 2022 for PC, right? And I think the Nathan Drake, not Nathan Drake, the Uncharted collection is coming out on PC apparently this year, right? So think about those things, guys. Think about it. Miles Morales came out in 2020. Now is 2022. Do you want to wait a whole 2 years? Do you want to wait a whole year? I am just saying. You don't want to wait a whole year or 2 years just to play a game on another platform when you could play it day one, enjoy it, and move on with your life. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So there is a market for the PS5. People that said, oh, I'm not going to buy a PS5 is buying PS5. You know what I mean? PS5 are selling like hot cakes. Literally hot cakes. It's selling like hot cakes for a reason, right? Because they know Sony is not going to do day and date, with PC games. Heck, they're not even doing day and date with PlayStation Plus Premium or Extra, right? So that should tell you something right there, that they still want you to spend $70 on their games, on their first party games, right? And get the best experience possible, whatever the experiences that they're giving you, whatever quality that they're giving you, right? So, hey, man, that's just the way it is. Now, talking about system sellers, let's be honest. Final Fantasy 16, that's a system seller because it's only on PlayStation. You're not going to be able to play that anywhere else, only on PlayStation as far as consoles, right? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Those games are system sellers. Period. Right? So with the announcement of obviously Rebirth and stuff, a lot of people was like, oh man, I got to get a PS5. I got to get a PS5. Right? So guys, you just have to look at it from that perspective. You know, like Sony literally went to Square Enix. Here you go. Make this only for our platform. Microsoft is doing the things that they're doing. That's just the way it is. You know? So it says, yeah, people need to realize PS5 and Xbox Series and even Switch still are selling like crazy, bro. Even Switch that came out, 2017 is selling like hot cakes, right? Like hot cakes still to this day. Switch is unstoppable. You know what I mean? Nintendo Switch is unstoppable. And so you kind of have to realize that 2017, bruh, now is 2022. And as underpowered as the Switch is, right? For a lot of people, some people don't like the screen resolution of the Switch, whatever the case may be. Developers saying that the Switch is underpowered, you know, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. 2017, March 3rd, 2017, right? Still selling. PS4, people still buying PS4s. Not as much as they used to, but hey, man, PS5s, every time PS5 goes in stock, sold out. Obviously, a lot of the scalpers was to be blamed because a lot of the stock was going to scalpers and not actual gamers. And that was a big thing around the launch of the PS5, you know? Okay. Carmela, I get to you in just a second, okay? Thank you, Tony, for the 364. Says people don't want the hard facts and the truth, but the fact is that everything on Microsoft has been delayed until next year. Ever since the rise and downfall of Starfield being delayed, there seems to be a lot of people just complaining. He must be very bored or whatever. Hey, man. Listen, like when Starfield got delayed, I was like, wow. I was like, okay, I was looking forward to it. It is what it is. It's all good. Right. And then when Redfall got delayed on top of that too, I was like, oh my God, both of your big releases delayed till next year. I'm like, man, that's a big blow. And you literally have nothing else to really fill that void. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow. Well, we got to wait again, you know? And then they showed us the things that are coming out within the next 12 months. And it's kind of like, okay, underwhelming because a lot of people really want to see the bigger stuff. Fable and Everwild and Avowed and Forza. Well, we did see Forza. That's next year. Like a lot of these games are next year and beyond. Hellblade 2, you know, like it's just kind of crazy, you know, but ultimately, well, that's just the way it is. That's just what we're dealing with at this point. So let's get to what some of you guys are really saying here. Says, so okay with Sony paying. No. Listen. I'm going to discuss the whole Sony paying block fees situation on Sunday. Here's what I'll say on this. Sony is a business, okay? They're a business at the end of the day. They're in business to make money. They're in business to get every single gamer as much as possible on their platform. Every time you see a trailer, if Sony can help it, they want you to see only on PlayStation at the end, right? So them spending blocking fees to stop games from going to Game Pass, that's just the nature of the business, right? Now, here's my take on the whole situation. Like, okay, you're spending all this money, whatever, I don't know, millions or thousands of dollars, right, to get people to come over or to get your games, get those games over on your platform. Okay. Well, a lot of people prefer to play their games on PlayStation when it comes to third-party stuff, aka, for instance, like Call of Duty. But at the same time, it's kind of like, really, Sony? So this is what you're really doing because, well, they know that Game Pass is a threat to them, right? They know that Game Pass, as far as the success that Game Pass is going to have when this deal goes through with Activision, man, that's one of the main reasons why they were saying the things that they were saying about Call of Duty. Like, they still want a piece of that Call of Duty pie. Hence why Microsoft came out and said, listen, like, we're not stopping Call of Duty from being on PlayStation. We're going to make it on PlayStation and continue to be on PlayStation, right? Because Sony sounded scared, like, oh my God, we're about to lose one of our biggest revenue stream, which is Call of Duty. So it's like, okay, we got to do something, right? We have to do something. Let's go ahead and let's pay money to stop these games from going to Game Pass, right? Because we want it on our platform and only on our platform. That's why Spider-Man is only on PlayStation. That's why Final Fantasy is only on PlayStation, right? That's why you see God of War only on PlayStation for a reason. But yes, we'll talk about that in full capacity on Sunday, Carmel. He says if Activision Blizzard deal go through this winter, will that have an impact for Nintendo? Of course, it's going to have an impact on the entire industry because you got to understand all the IPs that is under the Activision Blizzard King umbrella. It's a lot of games. And now Microsoft is going to be having all of that, right? So Microsoft is going to control and dictate where all their stuff go. What platforms, whatever the case may be. So yes, it's going to have an impact on the industry. That's why you see Sony like, oh my God, like we about to lose COD. And we don't have anything that can generate the money that COD is generating. That's one of the main reasons why they went on ahead and purchased Bungie, right? I'm just saying, Bungie's supposed to clear all that stuff up, right? Just saying, guys. I'm just saying, right? That's why they have this major push when it comes to live service games by now until 2026, right? I'm just saying. You just have to look at what's actually going on. Yes, that whole Activision deal will definitely change the industry forever, for sure. That's how big of an impact Activision got on the industry and their games and such, you know? But hey, man, you know, you're gonna get all these reports and stuff like that are gonna come out, and all we can do is let our voice be heard on the actual situation. I'm just saying. Larry K, thank you for the $1 for showing a lot of love and support. He says, bro, so is Gamescom going to be stream? Yeah. I'm going to stream Gamescom. Yes. I wouldn't say they're late. They're not lazy. I would say that they're delaying the game. Well, they said, hey, they need more time. They need more time to deliver the best experience. You can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. You literally cannot argue with that, right? So whatever their main reason is, hey, we're delaying the game because we need more time. That's their main reasons. I don't think they're being lazy. I think they want to give us the best experience possible. Are you guys needing me to stream the THQ Nordic showcase today? Are you guys interested in that? Like, let me know, because that's going down at 2 o'clock. I want to stream that for you guys around, say, 1:30 and get prepared for that for you guys. Apparently Alone in the Dark, I think that got leaked out, and I think there's some other games that people kind of really want to see there and stuff. So let me know. Miguel, thank you so much for the $5. Says there was a poll in the UK, 20% of Switch users, 26% of PS users, and 17% of Xbox Live users said they would try Game Pass if Activision Blizzard King deal goes through. There you have it. There you have it. That's how much big of an impact that deal got on the industry. Normally you use money to get exclusive deals and not go to anyone else, but never heard about blocking games. Will PS did something like that with crossplay that worried them too. Yeah. With the whole crossplay situation, that was just crazy, bro. That was just crazy, right? You should be able to cross play with whatever platform you want to play with, but now you're hearing the whole situation about the block games. Oh, like I said, we're going to talk about that, and I really want to dig into that topic and hear what a lot of you guys have to really say about it wholeheartedly on Sunday. We're going to dive into it for sure, because we're needing to have a discussion, because predominantly on here there's a lot more PlayStation fans than anything, and so we have to talk about this stuff. Because listen, at the end of the day, Microsoft too, Microsoft as well, they pay for games, they're buying publishers, they're doing stuff, right? Because I think exclusive games really matters to Microsoft at this point, right? They said it when they bought Bethesda. Like, if you don't have an Xbox, if you're not tied to Game Pass, you're going to be missing out, right? And so you got to understand how important it is to have exclusive games in the industry. And these companies would do whatever it takes to get games on their platform, period, right? And it's crazy just the way how it was phrased, blocking games. Like, it's just it comes off as like being anti-competitive in a way. Like, okay, why do you have to go to that extent, to block games from coming to another platform or another service? Like, why go to that extent? But I get it from a business standpoint. Like, hey, they need that game on their platform. Instead of it going to Microsoft, come over to us. Come over to us. We're going to pay you XYZ. And here's why we're going to pay you XYZ, because we got this amount of active monthly users on our platform. Our system always sell more than the whatever their pitch is to these developers and to these companies. That's what they do, bro. So you just have to understand that, guys. That's just how the industry works. And regardless of Sony's practices as of late and the things that they're doing that people are not agreeing with, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Like, we can sit here and shout and scream and things of that nature. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, because Sony is not gonna change who they are and their business model based off of YouTubers or based off of consumers, unless you vote with your wallets. Unless you're not buying their subscription services, or you're not buying their consoles, then they're going to look at that and be like, well, man, the numbers are down, so we got to do something. What is really going on, right? But as far as what they do behind the scenes to get these deals on their platforms, they're going to do what they're going to do, whether it's right or wrong. So, like, I'm not in agreement with a lot of things that Sony does, but hey, what are you going to do? Only thing you could do is put your opinion out there and hope that they see your opinion or hear your opinion, and then go from there, So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It says, Marlon, did you hear that the game size for Saints Row was just revealed? You should look it up. Oh, really? Is it huge? Noodles, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. Let me take a look at that. Let me take a look at that for sure. Let me take a look at that. It says, I'm glad you are looking at it from a business perspective. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I want to talk about it, in full capacity, on Sunday with you guys. Have a one-on-one discussion with that particular topic, because You have to look at it from a business standpoint. Like, yes, the way it comes off from a consumer standpoint is like anti-competitive. Like, okay, I get that, you know, Microsoft is your rival and you're going to do whatever it takes to win a generation and to win the hearts of your fan bases, you know, whatever the case may be. But behind closed doors, this is what these companies do. This is what Apple does. This is what Amazon does. Everybody is fighting for your dollar. Everybody wants you to be on their particular platform. Everybody wants you to be spending money with them, just like these car dealers. If you go to a car dealership to buy a car, right? Let's say you go to a car dealership. This is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it till Sunday. You go to a car dealership, right? You see a car, like these internet managers. And the reason why I'm bringing up this analogy is because I used to work sales and work for a car dealership. You go to a car dealership, right? And there's an internet manager that is in charge of obviously the sales of the cars and stuff like that. And you see a Toyota Camry, a 2013 Toyota Camry with 123,000 miles selling for $10,000. Wow. Okay, you look at the Carfax, there's no accidents, there's no damages, it's not salvage or anything like that. You're going to be like, holy freaking cow, they got you hooked. Now, however I'll get to that. However they actually, you know, whatever they actually did to get that price or to get that particular car, who knows, right? They probably had to literally get the car from somewhere else, not necessarily an auction. Maybe they buy it from another dealership, or maybe other dealers was trying to purchase that Toyota Camry, that 2013 Toyota Camry, but that particular dealership that's selling it for the price that they're selling it for probably offered more money. Be like, don't give it to Nissan dealership. Don't give it to the Dodge dealership. Give it to us because we're offering more money, right? For this particular car versus what everybody else. So we're going to try to block and stop whatever it is that's actually happening here just to give you that particular offer, just to hook you in to come into their dealer and buy from them and hope that you actually continue a solid relationship with this particular dealership. You just have to look at it from a business standpoint. And yesterday I had to realize that, like, yo, I got to look at it from a business standpoint. Yeah, it might come off shiesty, or it might come off as Sony just I don't know, like however it comes off, right? But at the end of the day, you have to look at it from a business standpoint. Like, this is what these companies do to win your hearts, to win your hard-earned money, to get you locked into their platform. They want you not to go anywhere else but on their platform to play games and have a good time. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Microsoft is doing it. They're buying up all these studios to get you locked into Game Pass. Just saying. And it's not illegal for them to do it. So that's just the reality. Yeah. It's a showcase that they're having. I think it's 40 minutes or 45 minutes long. They're going to be showing off some games and such. So I'm thinking people said that they wanted me to stream it. Tony, thank you so much for the $3.64. Says whether is the leaked documents are correct or not, that they tried to ban games from Game Pass as a corporate move in a business move. It's very clever. So he is about to drop two of us being titles this year. People have been waiting for Sony to fail. Listen, man, listen, you got to do what you got. At the end of the moral of the story here is you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do to win the hearts of gamers. Like you just have to do it. Like, it might come off wrong, or the wording of things, or the stuff with the documents. Not, like I said before, I don't agree with Sony saying that they can't rival Call of Duty. Like, I know it's going to take years and stuff, but you can make something to generate enough buzz over the years, because it's going to take years to get to the magnitude of Call of Duty. But for them to sit there saying that none of our studios can make anything to compete, yes, you can. Somebody can make something. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know, man. You're cutting yourself short at that point saying the things that you're saying. It says Marlon. Okay, look at the whole Resident Evil situation, right? Sony got the marketing on that, on Resident Evil, right? I'm pretty sure that I think I heard some type of information that was going around saying that, well, Microsoft pitched X amount of dollars to get Resident Evil Village on Game Pass day one. And then Sony went to Capcom and be like, blah, 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 gave them money or whatever the case may be, right? So when it comes to Resident Evil, Sony with the marketing stuff. Like, you just got to understand, man, it's business at the end of the day. Like, I had to learn that. Like, I had to get up out of the whole narrative of, oh, yeah, they're wrong for doing this and that. However you look at it, it's business. Like, these companies are going to step on each other to get to the top. It's a crab in the bucket mentality. Like, who is the first to get to the top and stay at the top? Like, Sony right now is number one in the console space, right? In the subscription gaming space, Microsoft right now is number one, right? A lot of people are talking about Game Pass and the impact that it's going to have, especially when this deal goes through. You heard what Michael Pachter said, right? I know Michael Pachter don't get a lot of things correct, but you heard what he said, right? He said that with Call of Duty and with this deal actually going through, they have the potential of having 100 million subscribers. They have the potential of getting 100 million subscribers on Game Pass because of the impact of Call of Duty, because of everything that's actually happening and everything. So you just have to realize, man, I had to realize my faults and my takes on things. And I have to sit back, do more research, and look into things from a business perspective. These companies are going to do what they're going to do. Whether I agree or you agree or we disagree, it doesn't matter. These companies are going to do what they're going to do. Now, as long as it's within the best interests of gamers, that's all that matters. Because anything else, it's just going to be a console war narrative. And we already know the situation with console wars, how toxic it can be. I think Netflix shareholder would love to see Xbox buy Netflix. Hey, man, I wouldn't be surprised. Sebastian says, even Marlon can tell what Microsoft is doing now. He knows Microsoft has the better strategy. He says, hold on, man, the chat is going fast, bro. Says, you guys are just in denial. Okay. Zilla says, Marlon, your tone definitely changed since Tuesday, Wednesday. Glad you being reasonable on this. Yeah, for sure. Because listen, man, like I said, guys, I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? And in the heat of discussion, in the heat of talking about these topics and stuff like that, sometimes you miss certain things you want to say, but you do have to look at things from a different angle sometimes. You can't just look at it as, okay, well, Sony is being this way or that way. It's business. They're trying to fight to win your hearts. They're trying to fight to win your money. You know what I mean? So if they can get you front line and center on their platform, then that's just the way it is, you know? So I literally have to learn from my mistakes as a content creator, as a person, and look at it from a business perspective. Look at all different options and aspects of everything and just hope that people can understand that, you know? Michael Pachter doesn't know what he's on about. He said Nintendo would go third party. Oh, Lord. That ain't going to happen. Trust me on that one. It says, bro, so do you like to watch anime or like to read? Man, God. Well, I do love anime. I mean, I grew up, literally watching Dragon Ball Z. I would say out of all the anime stuff, I would say Dragon Ball Z and Naruto is kind of like where my headspace is, but I haven't really been big on anime in a very, very long time. And so that is kind of like where I sit with the whole, stuff. So, hey, man, we just got to be realistic here. Okay. Chris says, I support both. They're going to make my dad go broke. Hey, I like that. Actually rhymed. That actually rhymed very well. That could be thrown into a song, man. I support both. They're going to make my dad go broke. Oh, man. Hey. Well, there you go. There you go, man. You know, have the best of both worlds, man. This is what everybody is fighting about. These pieces of plastic, you know, and at the end of the day, just buy both, play both, and enjoy both. And if you're a Nintendo fan, get the Nintendo Switch as well. There's some great games on the Nintendo Switch platform. So my main mission is to be unbiased as much as I possibly can be towards any of these consoles, and to bring gamers together in a very positive light, and not have to worry about the narrative of, oh, you know, this and that, and which console is more powerful than which. It doesn't matter which console is more powerful. It matters on the games that we're getting, right? And we're not developers, right? We're just gamers. So, hey, man, Jesus, dude, Zilla, I got you, man. We will be talking about this in full capacity on Sunday. All right. We have a dedicated show. We have a dedicated podcast designated for topics like this, topics like the blocking fees situation from Sony and Microsoft. Like the next episode after this one is going to be focused on Microsoft. And I'm going to do polls like on the community tab and ask you guys for topics that we can talk about and we can discuss on the actual Let's Talk episodes. That way we can make it more compelling, and it will be a lot more fun for you guys to watch and to participate in. And so if Game Pass becomes massively profitable, it says, what will everybody say then? There you go. There you go. That's going to be interesting when it becomes massively profitable, right? What is everybody going to say then? And also, when they're starting to drop AAA games after AAA games, high quality games after high quality games, what is people going to say then? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Man, oh man, oh man. That's a reality, guys. That's a reality. A PC is more powerful than console. Trust me, you're stating the obvious for sure. P Strong is Xbox more than somewhere so much than Sony is scared doing desperate moves. It says, if you have Netflix, make sure to check out this movie called Day Shift. It's good. Okay, gotcha. It won't laugh out loud. Hey, I'm just saying, what is the narrative gonna be? Popeye, no. My Facebook page got hacked, so I got to make another one, I guess, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the whole situation on that. It says, if you provide something of worth, there you go. Yeah. Like I said, if they're dropping high quality stuff, AAA stuff that people really want and stuff like that, then there you have it. It says, bro, so will you talk about Nintendo 2 on Sunday? No, this is strictly about PlayStation, Xbox, PlayStation, Xbox. Nintendo stuff, like I said before, I have a channel that I'm going to have designated for that, because the thing is, when you start having talking about so many different platforms and things like that, it gets crazy. So let's focus on PlayStation and Xbox. That's what this channel is really built on right now and focusing on. And so we really want to just kind of dial into that even more. Because Nintendo, not everybody really likes the games that Nintendo offers and stuff. And so I've realized that as much, like, yeah, Breath of the Wild, Metroid, Bayonetta, all those type of games appeals to me, right? But a lot of the other games, like, I grew out of those games, you know what I mean? So I talk about things that I'm interested in now. Yes, I still do have some interest in Nintendo, but not as much as I used to. And that's just the way it is. But it's just strictly going to be Xbox and PlayStation on Sunday. On Sundays, I should say. It says, what's your response to PlayStation actions in the Brazil court? I think they should just move one before more dirt is brought to light on them. Man, it's just so much stuff, just, you know, so much stuff coming out about that whole Brazil situation, man, on these documents and stuff like that. And it's just all type of negativity one way or the other, right? And so I just want this deal to be over with so that we don't have anything else coming out. And I know we don't have any control or anything like that, but hey, it is what it is. Viper says Game Pass will only be profitable when Bing rewards and $1 for 3 months is cut and they enforce the $180 year sub price. Huh. Man, but again, they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. You know? For whatever reason, they're gonna approach Game Pass marketing how they're gonna approach it, you know, and hoping that they can win people over. It says, as much as I love console, I am a more minimalist. It says now, so yes, cloud gaming is great. PS love, PS4, Switch, and Xbox. My man. It says it's supposed to be an event today. Yeah, at 2 o'clock. Wait, hold up. Maybe it's, it might be already going on already. Is it already going on already? Hold on. Dang it. I'm over here running my mouth. I'm running my mouth, bro. I need to pay attention to, THQ. Oh, so, all right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream now. And stuff. So, we got to get ready for the THQ stream and everything. It's starting in like 1 hour. So, I'm going to fire this back up. Dang it, man. I think we overstayed our welcome here. So, in 1 hour, it's going to start. I'm going to push for like 1:30 and we're going to see, you know, what's there and everything like that. And then we take it from there. So one love and God bless. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank y'all for the tremendous support. Stay tuned for the THQ Nordic Showcase. That's going to be airing in another 30 minutes. Well, it's going to be at 2 o'clock, but I'm going to be streaming in it in another 30 minutes or so. So appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the new format that we're having here, bringing back the old format, the old PS3 format and everything. I appreciate Kratos. Appreciate you, my G. Thank you for the $20 on a crazy Friday. Much love, man. Thank you guys for the support, man. We out here, man. We are out here. Cash. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, man. You've been crushing it, Kratos, with the solid 20. Thank you so much for the $20, man. I appreciate you guys. So let's get ready for this THQ Nordic stream. Hopefully we can see things in there that you guys want to, you know, purchase or whatever the case may be, or to get hyped for. But yeah, this is definitely the classic format. If you guys want to see more classic formats like this, then we'll continue to do that, okay? So Kratos, thank you so much for the $9.99. $9.90. Kratos 99. Thank you for the $20. Shh. Please have yourself a doggone good one. Love you guys. That's what Etika would say. Appreciate y'all, man. See you in the next stream. Let go.
I wanna play for so long. I need to tell you. I wanna unless you talking numbers, we ain't speaking about the right things. Switch up on my nigga for a figure, that's not like me. Baddie with a body in the lobby, she like nice things. She used to know me then, she like me now, that's funny timing. Eyes been on that prize, I copped that cribbo for that timepiece. I'm trying to see the globe and sell out shows and